I now give the floor to the representative of Greece.
Thank you, Mr. President. And let me thank Special Envoy Peterson and Undersecretary General Tom Fletcher for their insightful briefings. I thank Mrs. Jurbaji, for highlighting the importance of women's participation in Syria's recovery. I also acknowledge the presence of the new Syrian ambassador, Mr. Ibrahim Olabi. Mr. Olabi, we welcome you to the Council as you strive for a new Syria at the UN. Mr. President, I want to highlight 3 points today. First, the vision of a new Syria will only be realized once a truly inclusive political transition has been achieved. Syria is a country of a tremendous wealth, a wealth that lies in its ethnic, religious, and cultural diversity. After years of suffering, all Syrians deserve a country in which they feel protected, safe, and included. In this context, we took careful note of the announcement of the selection of 2/3 of the country's legislative council by regional electoral committees. New legislative structures need to ensure democratic legitimacy and a fair representation for all. We regret the security conditions that led to the suspension of the electoral process in the Druze-dominated Shweida and the Kurdish-controlled governorates. We expect the political transition to include all Syrians, Muslims, Christians, Druze, Kurds, and importantly, women. It is clear that only if all religious and ethnic groups feel safe and politically represented can Syria move forward in its path for reconciliation, social cohesion, and economic development. It is encouraging in this regard that Syria's transitional president met with the Patriarch of Antioch last month, the leader of a community which has suffered a lot, especially in the Mar Elias Church terrorist attack this summer. Which brings me to my second point. Syria's volatile security landscape must be properly addressed, especially as the terrorist threat persists. Perpetrators of violence, regardless of affiliation, must be brought to justice in line with international norms. We welcome the roadmap agreed by Syria, Jordan, and the US on restoring stability in Shweida, expecting full accountability. Similarly, the report of the UN Commission of Inquiry on violations committed against civilians in coastal and western central Syria earlier this year must be followed up. We urge the interim authorities to do so. Equally, we hope that genuine progress on the implementation of the March agreement between Damascus and the SDF will be made possible. This in the context of wider efforts to assure safety and inclusivity for all Syrians. All regional actors must respect international law, refraining from incitement, threat, or the use of force, as well as malign influence or interference. Third, Syria needs to rebound as its economy is currently in disarray and humanitarian needs remain urgent. Aware of the challenges on the ground, the EU was swift in lifting sanctions in line with a gradual and reversible approach. It also introduced new listings under the EU Global Human Rights Sanctions regime, targeting those responsible for serious human rights abuses. Syria needs to be rebuilt for the refugees and to return home, involving the diverse and wealthy Syrian diaspora to this end is necessary. In this sense, we reaffirm Syria's unity, independence, sovereignty, and territorial integrity, urging all to respect it fully. Mr. President, With the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly now upon us, Syria stands at crossroads. We look forward to the address of Syria's transitional president next week, certainly a significant milestone in the country's history. We will remain hopeful but also vigilant, especially about a new Syria which is inclusive for all and free from foreign interference. Greece stands at the side of the Syrian people and the United Nations along this path. Thank you.
I thank the representative of Greece for the statement.